Market Avenue, my name is Edward Nyako. The World Bank has issued a report indicating that insect farming and hydroponic crop farming have the potential to generate a lot of jobs on the continent of Africa. Ghana is one of the countries that were captured in this report. We're going to look at how insect farming is going to help create jobs and even increase income levels for the youth in particular that are searching for jobs. But before we do that, let's go straight to the base language for today. On the Ghana Stock Exchange, and Maurice Ogbete is here to walk us through the happenings on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Maurice, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Edward. As you said, it's midweek. We've seen a particular trend, I think, from the latter part of last week through to the beginning of this week. We see some dipping, of the market. So the main composite index today went down some 15.59 points.
Wow.
And the financial stock index went down 6.99 points. That's because we saw the likes of MTN going down. They lost some pesos. And all right, so by the close of trading today, we saw some 162.9 million shares, exchanging hands. That's valued at 236 billion Ghana cedis. The market capitalization, keeps dropping. From Monday it was 64.2. It came down to 63.9. On Tuesday, today it's at 63.8 billion Ghana cedis. So let's look at the gainers. We had just a gainer for today and 3 losers. So here we are. That's Enterprise Ghana. They lost some 11 pesos.
That's huge.
Yes, as of yesterday, they were doing 7 cedi 80 pesos. Today, they're doing 7 cedi 69 pesos. And then we also see the likes of MTN Ghana. They lost a peso today. As of yesterday, they were doing 1 cedi 16 pesos. Today, they're doing 1 cedi 15 pesos. And then we see Stanchart Bank. And they also lost 5 pesos. As I yesterday, they were doing 2 cedis 35. Today, they're doing 2 cedis 30 pesos. It was only SIC that gained today. They gained a peso. Yesterday, they were doing 8 pesos per share. Today, they're doing 7 pesos per.
It was 7 pesos. Today, they are doing 8 pesos.
Okay, they're doing 8 pesos per share now. Yes, that's because they were the only gainers for today. Yeah, so Edward, that's how the market is looking like. It looks like because of the Christmas,
people are offloading their shares,
trying to get some cash to spend, because it looks like the Ghanaians want to celebrate Christmas this time.
In a big way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That was Maurice Ogbete giving us the updates, performance of the equities on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We go for a right break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Verna Doughty at the World Bank headquarters in Washington to talk to her about this report that has been issued about insect farming. And you'll be wondering what kind of insect we're talking about. I hope you know what akokon is. So we're going to talk about akokon farming. Great. Doughty is on the line. Doughty, welcome. Hello? Hello? Yes, I can hear you. Doughty, you're welcome.
Sorry, there's a lot of microphones that are open, so I'm hearing different people.
Oh, okay. I will work on that. But is that okay now? Hello? Doughty?
No, I hear you.
Okay, great. very poorly. But let's look at Dorothy Werner is a senior economist at the World Bank headquarters. And what exactly is the report about? Let's look at the report and then we zero in on the questions that I have for you. Why are you doing insect and hydroponic farming reports on the continent of Africa, about Africa?
Insects have been foraging for many years. Can I speak now?
Yeah, you can go ahead, please. You can go ahead.
Thank you. There's just a lot of noise. Can you please mute your microphone, please? Okay. Insects have been foraging for thousands of years all over the world, and right now there's about 2 billion people that consume insects. So what is really new and what we wanted to show with this report is that you can farm insects. So we're focusing on hydroponic farming and insect farming in this new report.
Great. And Dorothy, looking at the report, how can the frontier agriculture that you're talking about complement the conventional way of doing agriculture?
It can complement conventional agriculture in many ways, mostly because traditionally to grow food we need arable land and lots of water. In many places you need irrigation too. So in resource constrained environments such as arable land and in cities where you don't have the access to the resources such as arable land, we can start to produce in small space, including in boxes and going vertical. So we can produce both the vegetables and the fruit, but we can also produce protein for human food and for animal feed.
All right. Now let's zero in on the insect farming, which is getting a lot of interest here. Now, the larvae that you're talking about, in Ghana we call it akokuno. That's our local language. Why are you looking at that one as a potential to help in getting food in terms of protein for human and even feed for fish, pigs, and other animals?
With insect farming and hydroponic farming that is really little resource intensive, we can complement what traditional farms already is. And it's actually happening in Ghana already, right?
Yeah.
In Africa, it has a huge potential. Even people that have never really done any traditional farming, they are moving into insect farming. And we have learned from Ghanaian researchers that it's happening in Ghana. For example, in Ghana they produce the palm wheel larvae already. And it's both, in general in Africa, we're both producing insects for human food and animal feed, right?
How viable is this? The viability of the larva farming?
It's based on the research that we have done. It shows that it is very profitable, including in Ghana. First of all, there's about 850 insect farms already on the African continent, and it's growing fast. Probably by the minute there's popping up a new farm on the continent. In Ghana, for example, the palm wheel farmers told us in the report that with 3 cycles a year, a new farmer that starts to do 3 cycles of palm wheels a year, they can make a profit already in the first year. And within 127 days, they can pay back their initial investment capital that they have put into the farm. And we should not forget that the price that the farmers get from the palm wheels for a kilo of palm wheel protein compared to others is really high. For example, in Ghana, we're learning that you can get $10 a kilo of palm oil, while you can only get $3 per kilo of chicken and $2.8 per kilo of fish. So it's a very high value protein that we can produce.
The technology for doing this kind of business, is it difficult to get access to, or is it so simple?
You'll be surprised. Many times it's very simple technology. Small farmer can do it in a few square meters. You can do it in a box, even with recycled material, and you can go high by layering your insects. So it doesn't really require a lot of space, and most people can actually do it. I think many people that I know in Ghana from my visits, they have a few square meters somewhere on the land. So it is very feasible.
And how capital intensive is it, or is not?
Excuse me, can you repeat?
Does it require a lot of capital to do this kind of business?
I'm sorry, I don't hear you.
I'm asking, how capital intensive is this kind of farming, the larva farming?
How what?
Capital intensive.
It's intensive, yes, and it's very fast. There's not many proteins that we can produce in a few weeks, and that we can do with insects, right? So let me just walk you through how we presented in the report that came out today.
Okay.
We're focusing on a circular food economy that can improve the food system in Ghana and in most countries on the African continent. So if we do it in a circular food economy way, that means we will not produce any waste that is not used in the system. So let me walk you through this. By people producing agriculture, we would have waste from the farm. This agriculture waste, or human waste from the household, or even brewery waste from the brewery, all this organic waste we can feed to insects. These insects, after a few weeks, we can harvest, and then we will get three products. We will get the protein, we can get oil, and we can get organic fertilizer. All of these has a high value. The insects you can either eat directly, use it for human food, or you can put it into any kind of processing for flour and things that you go into porridge. But we can also farm insects for animal feed if people do not really want to eat the insects. So we can feed them to chicken and pig, and they can be fed to people. And the organic fertilizer can be used in conventional agriculture for the soil. So it is really a triple win situation. We create jobs for people, and we can create many jobs. We can generate livelihood, we increase food security, and when we feed the insects waste, that is even helping the planet and the environment, because these insects are consuming the greenhouse gases that usually would go into the atmosphere. And let's not forget, it's helping the overall economy, and it's going to help the ministries of finance, because they don't have to import as much food, don't have to import as much feed and fertilizer. So they say in hard currency that can be used for other things to serve the people, including in Ghana.
Now let's look at the issue about the environment. How is this going to help? You talk about it can save the environment because it is not the linear way of agriculture. It is a circular farming. Walk us through how it will impact on the environment.
Right now, in many places, particularly in Africa, right, insects are being farmed. Now, insects are being collected, foraged in the wild. And in some places, we already see it in Southern Africa, insects are being over-harvested. So that means we are running down the ecosystem by consuming too many of the insects that come from the wild. So that's one thing. The second thing is by helping the environment by using the organic fertilizer we are producing when farming insects, it goes back into, and we can get rid of a lot of the chemical fertilizers that is being used. And let's not forget, when we farm insects, we can control what insects eat. When we collect insects in the wild, we have no control over what these insects have consumed. They can have been eating of corn and other crops that have just been sprayed with dangerous pesticides. And then it will go into the food chain, including these dangerous pesticides, into our bodies when we consume these insects. By farming insects, we will have full control over what goes into it, and we have full control of what comes out and where it's being used. So the short answer is it will help the ecosystem, and it will help the greenhouse gas emission reduction. That when farming insects, we will feed the insect organic waste and absorb these greenhouse gases in the production of the insect, and it doesn't go up in the atmosphere.
So there might be some young men out there watching this interview. If I want to go into this insect farming business, in your report, did you capture how much one would need in terms of dollars to start as a smallholder farmer?
I'm not hearing you, but you're asking how much we would produce in terms of larvae and jobs?
I'm asking if a young person, a young man, want to go into this farming, insect farming in Ghana, I want to find out, did your report capture how much will be needed to start this, as a startup, to start this kind of farming?
What would be needed to start this kind of farming?
Yes.
There would be need a little space. We don't need arable land and very little water. We need eggs, and the university and other researchers in the African continent have already produced eggs. Then we will take the eggs and get them to grow into larvae. And for example, the black soldier fly that is used a lot for animal feed, the first batch would turn into flies. Then the second step is when they start to produce these eggs again, we will harvest the eggs, give them a little bit of the organic waste. Let them eat this waste for a few days, and then we will put them into a box. And some of the research shows we can pretty much leave them for 10 days. So little work is needed for these 10 days. And after about 2 weeks, the whole cycle with black soldier fly, we can harvest them and use them either for animal feed, we can dry them, we can sell them to feed companies that can put them into the animal feed there. But let's not forget that insect larvae for feed is really high quality because it has all the amino acids that animals eat, and it has a lot of the micronutrients too. And I'll just share one of the best kept secrets on the African continent with you. And that is, there are people already producing that is making a lot of people happy. For example, I know a woman in Kenya, 25-year-old insect farmer. She's producing black soldier flies. She started by giving the larvae to the farmers next door. When the farmers next door to her insect farm started producing larvae instead of the traditional pig food based on soybeans, they grew bigger, much faster. And when they took these pigs to the market, they ended up getting a price of 100 times higher. That means double of the regular fed soy feed-fed pigs. Why is this? This is because the quality of the insect larvae is so high that the pigs are leaner, get broader shoulders, and get a higher price. It's a win-win for everybody. For the farmer that produce the pigs, but also for the farmer that produce the insect larvae. And the feed companies are telling us, we are ready. Our trucks are already parked outside. We're ready to go where there's a good size in production because they understand that this is higher quality. So if Africa could start to produce more insects, both for human food and for animal feed, the African farmer will benefit, the African countries will get benefit, but the whole planet will benefit because we can stop cutting down the remaining rainforest where it's usually produced the soybeans, but also because we reduce the greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes, that is interesting. The issue of the demand, you cited a Kenyan one. How do we make sure that the interest in demand for this is whipped up so much that we'll shift attention from the conventional way of going for soybean, as you said, maize to feed the chicken and other animals?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I was talking about the demand. You cited Kenya. How do we whip up interest to shift attention from the production of maize and soybean to feed the animals?
You're asking how?
The demand.
To get the demand?
Yes.
Demand is there, trust me. Demand is there as the global numbers show. The global numbers show that the insect industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. It has a compound growth rate of 24% per year. So the demand is rising really fast. And I would suggest that you have another talk like this, where we bring in the feed companies and the fertilizer companies from Ghana, because I am pretty convinced that they stand ready to start buying the insects from the farmers, but also the organic fertilizers, because we're seeing it everywhere. Some of the countries that have grown incredibly fast is in Korea, and they have created very successfully a whole supply chain, right, from the farmers. Farmers get together in small cooperatives. They sell to the big companies, or they consume it themselves. Insect can be used, and the evidence shows that insect can be used for food and feed, but also right now it's being used in medicine, and it's being used in animal food and in cosmetics. I don't think we have seen the last, and this is what we know now, but the whole sector is moving so fast, and we are learning every day about new things that this can be useful. And honestly, when you think about it, how many animals can you think about that is already being produced? On a good day, I can maybe count 10, the chicken, the pigs, the cows, the goats, etc. But if we could start to produce more insects, we could maybe increase this number from 20 to 30, and all of a sudden we're farming 30 animals. Right now there has been documented there is 2,100 insects that are being consumed. And there's not many of them that are being farmed. It's mainly we're talking about 10, 20 on a small scale. So that's really a bright future for insect farming globally.
It's really a bright future for insect farming globally. Finally, what you want to share with the viewers out there about the larva farming?
Again, please?
I was asking your final thoughts about this report that you've issued, that you want to share with the youth out there.
I would like to share the following. There's a huge potential when this is done right for the individual farmer, for the farming sector, the ag GDP in a country, by starting to produce these insects. Insects can then be fed to the animals that are already being produced in Ghana. So I suggest if you're interested, start talking to the researchers that are doing this. Start to talk to the extension service people that might already know how to do this, and pick up our report, because we give some names and we give suggestions of how to get started. Everything from the farmer or the person that wants to start farming. We're already learning that in Ghana there are people that are not traditional seen as farmers that is doing it on the side. And farmers are doing it as part of the whole portfolio of what they're already doing. So it can be an added on, or it could be a self-standing thing. You can produce one insect, or you can produce multiple different insects if you want to diversify. And let's not forget, insect farming is climate resilient. Many other farmers are really impacted by climate variability and change, including drought. But insect is in a box, so you can say you basically controlling the climate in a box while you're producing these insects. And let's not forget, it can help the whole economy when people start to earn more income, more jobs are being created. And we calculate just for Ghana. If Ghana really gets up to speed in terms of black soldier flies, if we take 30% of the organic waste that is produced in agriculture in Ghana, we feed it to black soldier flies, we can get enough protein and fertilizer to create nearly 300,000 extra jobs in Ghana. We would not like that.
Thank you very much, Dorothy, for your thoughts. We've been talking to Dorothy Werner, the lead economist at the World Bank in Washington, D.C., about akokun farming or akokun business. You might know akokun, when you cut down the palm tree, you get this insect in there. That's how we wrap up today's Market Avenue. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow. My name is Edward Nyakun. God willing, we'll meet you. Shalom.